Okay, we're continuing to the Odyssey, so we're reading it right now. But break out this song, the unendurable song that always rends the heart inside me, the unforgettable grief it wounds me most of all. How I long for my husband, alive in memory, always that great man who fame or sins through Hua is right to the Argos. Why, mother? Placed Telemachus put in sharply. Why, Danny, our devoted bard the chance to entertain us any way the spirits stir him on. Bards are not to blame. Zeus is to blame. He deals to each and every laborer on this earth whatsoever doom he pleases. Why the fault the bard if he sings of the artist? Harsh fate, it's always the latest song that one that echoes last in the listener's ears. That people praise the most, courage mother hardened to your heart. You listen, Odysseus was scarcely the only one, whose journey was blotted out of Troy. Others, so many others. So mother, go back to your quarters, tend your own tasks. The distaff in the womb and keep the woman working hard as well. As for giving others, men will see to that, but most of all, hold the reins of the power in his house. Astonished, she withdrew to her own room. She took to her heart the queer good sense in what her son had said. Climbing up the lofty chamber with her woman, she fell to weeping for Odysseus, her beloved husband, until watchful Athena sealed her eyes with welcome sleep. The suitors broke into uproar through the shadow halls, all of them lifting prayers to lie beside her sheer bed until the discreet Telemachus took command. You suitors who plagued my mother, you insolent, you overweening, for this evening what is dying to take our pleasure. No more shadow now. What a fine thing it is to wish inside as bard as we have here. The man seems like a god. But at first sight, we all march to assembly to take our seats so I can give my orders to say ye straight out. You must leave my palace. See to your feasting elsewhere, devote your own possessions, house to house by burns. But if you decide the fare is better, richer here, destroying woman's gods and going scot-free, all right then, carve away. But I'll cry out to the everlasting gods and hopes that Zeus will pay you back of vengeance. All of you destroy my house, while I go to the scot-free myself. If Atheni's son Antimonus broke their silence, will Telemachus? Only the gods could teach you how to sound so high and mighty, such brave talk. I brave that Zeus will never make you a king of Ithaca, though your father's crown is no doubt up by birth. But cool-headed Telemachus countered firmly. Antinius, even though my words may offend you, I'll be happy to take the crown if Zeus presents it. You think that nothing worse could befall a man? It's really not so bad to be a king. All at once your palace grows in wealth. Your honors grew as well. They are herds of other, at the end, princes look young and old. Crowds of them are island here. At any one of them why might hold the throne. Now great Odysseus is dead, but I'll be ward of my house and servants. All that king won for me by force. Oops, sorry. Where was I? And now Eurymachus, Pelops' son, stepped in. Sorry, this must lie in God's lap. Telemachus which Aegean will ward it over Seager, Ithaca, to hold on to your own possessions, rule your house, God forbid, that anyone tear your holding from your hands while men still live in Ithaca. But about your guest, dear boy, I have some questions. Where does he come from? Where's his country, his birth, his father's old estates? Did he bring some news of your father, his return? Or did he come on business on his own? How he left his feet off he went? No running around for proper instructions. introductions. No mean man. Not by the looks of him, I say. Arimaches, Telemachus answered shortly. Clear my father's journey home and lost forever. I'm no longer trusting rumors. Rumors for the blue nor bother with any preciosity when mother calls some wizard in my house to ask him questions. As for the stranger foe, a man's an only family friend for Taphos, wise Atreus' son. He says his name's Mentas, lord of the Taphian men who loves their oars. So he said, but deep in his mind, he knew the immortal goddess. Now the suitors turned to dance and song, the lovely beat and sway, wait for dusk to come up on there. But dark night came up to them, lost in pleasure, finally to bed, each in his own house. Telemachus, off his bedroom built in a fine courtyard, a commanding, lofty room self well apart. What did I do? Sorry, why do I keep doing that? Lofty as apart is retired too. Sparks swarming his misgivings. His devoted nurse attended him, bearing a glowing torch. Ericilia, the daughter of Ops, Pisner's son, Laertes had a pace for prince for a woman's years now. Still in bloom of yore, he traded 20 oxen on a pair of his own loyal of life at home. Bearing of the queen's anger, never shared her bed. She was his grandson's Esker now in Boraturch. She was the one of all the maids who the prince the most. She nursed him as a baby. He spread the doors in his snug. While maid room sat down in his bed and pulled his soft shirt off. Sorry, I have oil problems. Tossed in an old woman's conscientious hands, and after folding it neatly, passing it soft, she hung it up with head beside his corded bed, then paddled for the bedroom. Drawing the door shut with a silver hook, sliding the doorbell home and with a rawhide strap. For all night long, wrapped in a sheep's warm fleece, he weighed in his mind, of course, Athena charted. Book 2. Telemachus sets sail. When young Dawn, with her rose-red fingers shone once more, the true son of Odysseus sprang from bed and dressed. Over his shoulders he swung his well-honored sword, fastened rawhide sandals under his smooth feet. As he stepped for his bedroom, handsome as a god, at once he ordered the heralds to cry out loud and clear, and summoned flowing-haired Achaeans. The full assembly, their cries rang out. The people filled in quickly. When they grouped across the meeting grounds, Telemachus strode into a bronze spear in his grip, and not alone, 2 sleek hounds went trotting at his wheels. And Athena lavished a marvelous splendor on the prince, so the people all gazed his wonder as he came forward. The elders making it away as he just took his father's seat. The first to speak was the old lord, Egyptius, stooped with an age, who knew the world by heart, the one dearer has sailed the king Odysseus, found in the hollow ships in the Stalian land of Troy, the spearman Antiphus. The brutal Cyclops killed him, trapped in a vaulted cave. The last man and monster ate 3 ever since he had one who mixed with the suitors, Ernemus, and two kept working on their father's arms. Still, he never forgot the soldier. Discouraged in his grief, the tears of his son he washed and rose and said among them, "Hear me, men of Ithaca. Hear what I have to say. Not once have we held assembly met in season, since King Odysseus sailed the hollow ships, who had summoned us now, one of old timers, what Xiphias Chryses supports him on. Some news he heard of army of a march, word he caught first hand so he can warn us now. Or some public matter he disclosed and argued. He's a brave man, I say. God to be with him, too. May Zeus speed him with a happy end, whatever his heart desires." Winning words with the lucky ring, Odysseus' son rejoiced. The boy could sit no longer right up to speak. He took his stand among the gathered men. He The herald prisoner, skilled in customs ways, with a staff in his hand when the prince, addressing old Egyptius, first went up with, "Sir, that man is not far off. You'll soon see for yourself." I was the only one who called it all together. Something wound me deeply. Not news, I'm here in the army of a march. Word. I caught a first Hubbin, so I can warn you now. Or some other public matter I'll disclose and argue. No, the crisis is on my own. The trouble has struck my house. A double blow. First I had lost my noble father, who ruled among you years ago. Each of you here in Cairo is a father to his children, but now this. A worse disaster that soon will grind my house down. Ruin it all and all my worldly goods in the bargain. Serious plaguing my mother. Against her will sons of the merry men who you are finest here. They sooner hear than approach our father's house. So serious himself might see the daughter's bridal. Hand her on who he likes. Whoever meets his fancy, not they. They infest our palace day and night. They butcher our cattle and our sheep are fat goats. He fastened himself sick. Swelling, glowing wine, there's no tomorrow, all of it squandered. Now you have no man like Odysseus in command to drive this curse from the house. We ourselves, we are the ones to fight him off. All you do is parade our wedged weakness. Body into the battle, I'll sling into attack if I have a hair on me. My God, it's intolerable. What they do is disgrace my house of shambles. You should be ashamed of yourselves, mortifying the face of neighbors living round about. Fear the God's wrath before they whirl in outrage, make these crimes recoil on your heads. I beg you by Olympian Zeus, by Vempens too, who seems as bluntly as free and calls to his suggestions. Stop, my friends, let me alone with pinely and anguish, unless, of course, you think my noble father Odysseus did achieve army damage. Deliberate harm and pay me back you do me in. Deliberately send these parasites against me. Better for me if you were devouring all my treasure, all my cattle if you're the ones. We make amends in no time. We appreciate you for reparations around in town. Demanding our goods will tell you return to the lot. But now you look. You wounded my heart with the grief. There's nothing I can do. Filled with anger, down to the ground he dashed the speaker's scepter. Bursting into tears, Spidey seized his assembly. All just sat there, silent. No one had to heart with a prod of harshness. Only Antinius, who found himself to say, so high and mighty, Telemachus such unbridled. Rage! I'm sorry, I have problems, I can't help it. Well now, fling your stations at us. Think you pinned a blame on us? You think again? It's not the stewardess here to deserve the blame. It's your own dear mother, the matchless queen of cunning. Look here, for 3 years now, getting on to 4. She played at the last and loose with all her hearts, billowing each man's hopes, damaging promises, dropping hints to each all the while with something else in mind. This was her latest masterpiece of guile. She set up a great loom in the royal halls. She began to weave, and weaving fine-spun yarns endless. She would weave on, young man, my suitors now the king Odysseus is no more. Go slowly, keep Kenyas to marry me until I can finish on this web. So my weaving won't all fray to come to nothing. The shroud of war warface, or that day, the deadly fate. The way it's all to take him down. The shame my countrywoman would have upon me. Yes, if man such as wealth should lie in a state, without a shred of cover. Her very words, and despite her bride and passionately believed her, so by day she weaved in her great and whirling web, by night, by the light of torches she's set beside her, she would unravel all she'd done. 3 whole years she could just sighed, she seized us blind. Seduce us into a scheme. Then, when the whaling seasons brought for here on one of her women into a queen's secret, told her truth and we caught her in the act, unweaving her gorgeous web, so she finished it off. Against her will, we forced her. Now Telemachus hears as our suitor answer you, burn it in your mind. You and our people send your mother back. Direct her to marry whoever her farm picks. Whoever pleases her, so long as he persists to tormenting us. Quick to exploit the gifts Athena gave her, and skilled hands for urgent work. A fine mind is subtle. Whilst too, we never heard the like, not even an old story sung of the Aeaeus, little coffine queens who graced the years gone by Mycenae, grown her with her garlands, Tyro and Alcmenia. No one can touch Penelope for intrigue. In his case, she intrigued beyond all limits. So he will devour your worldly goods and wealth. As long as she holds that to that course the gods have charted deep inside her heart. Great renown she wins for herself, no doubt. Great wealth for year and treasure will not go back to our estates or leave for other parts, not until she weds the argued man she fancies. But with all calm good sense, Telemachus replied, Antonius, how can I drive away my mother from her house against her will? With the one who bore me, rear me too? My father's world stay? Dead or alive, who knows? Imagine the high praise will have to say, serious. If all my own, I send my mother's home. Oh, while I suffer for father, some dark god will hurt me even more when mother, leaving her own house behind, calls down with her withering furries on my head, and our people cries on shame would hound my heels. I will never eschew the autonomy to my mother. And you, if you have any shame in your own hearts, you must leave my palace. See your feasting elsewhere, devour your own possessions, house by house, by turns. If you decide affairs better, richer here, destroying one man's gods, going scot-free, alright then, carry away. But I'll cry out as their everlasting gods and hopes that Zeus will pay you back. In vengeance, all of you destroyed in my house, while I go scot-free myself. And to seal his prayer, far-seeing Zeus sent down a sign he watched two eagles soar high in a mountain ridge. And down they glided, borne over the wind's draft a moment, wing to wingtip, pinions straight out of the toes about the assembly, furling they whirled. Suddenly, the wings trashing, while an onslaught of wings banking down the crowd's heads, a grand photo sign talons. Slashing each other, tearing cheeks and throats, they swooped away on the ride through homes and city. All were dumbstruck. Watched an eagle's trail for sight, people brooding deeply what might come to pass, until old warrior half of Pharisees, master's son, broke the silence from him, the one who performed all the man of his time, at reading bird signs sounding off the moments, rose and spoke, this draw for each man there. Hear me, men of Ithaca, hear what I have to say. Through my revelations, strike the suitors the first of all. Greece scepters rolling like a breaker towards their heads. Clearly Odysseus won't be far as left to love us for any longer. Now, right now, he's somewhere near. I tell you, breeding bloody death for all these suitors here, pains apparently. To the rest of us who live in Ithaca somewhere there. Long before that, we must put heads together, find some way to stop these men, or let them stop themselves. For them that way, by far, I myself am no longer stranger to prophecy. I can see it now, Odysseus. All is working out for him, I say. Just as I said, one of the day our Jeeves sailed for Troy and the mastermind of battle bored with them, I said, after many blows and all his shipmates lost, after 20 years at Wales Wheelby, he would come home. Unrecognized by all, now look at this come to pass. Stop, old man. Ermachus, Polypus' son, rose up to take him down. Go home and babble your omens to your children. Save them for Cassistrope, coming soon. Better than hand that you reading portions, flocks of birds go fluttering under the sun's rays. Not fraught with the meaning, Odysseus. He's dead now. Far from home. What a god that you died with him, too. Later escapes your droning, Pervestes. Then in the way you ruse of the dogs of his boy's anger, your eyes peeled for the house gift he might give you. Here's my prophecy, bound to come to pass. If you old Kroger, wise of ages, talk him around, inside the body the riot, he'll be the first to suffer. Let me tell you, you the old man, will cap some fine with you. You'll leap to pay. I'll find to crust your spirit. Tell him Machis. Here's in front of you all. Here's my advice for him. When him urge his mother's back and her to her father's house, her kin will arrange the wedding, provide the gifts, the array that will the daughter dearly loved. Not till then, I say, will the Island's prince quit her taking courtship? Who is fear to fear, I ask you? Surely not Telemachus, with all the tiresome threats, nor do we balk. Only all the properties of your mouth will come to grief. They'll make us hate you more. The prince's wealth we devoured as always. Mercilessly, nor preparations or ever not. Well, the drink drags on her hope to wed her, waiting. Day after day, all of us striving hard to win one matchless beauty, never courting others, devise a bread to suit each noble bear. Telemachus answered firm his resolve. Eurymachus, for rescue you find, brazen suitors, I've done with my appeals to you about these matters, I'll say no more. The gods know how things I stand, so do all the chance, and now all I ask is a good swift ship and crew of 20 men, to speed me through my passage out in back. I sailing off to Sparta, seeing Pylus too, for news my long-lost father journeying home. Someone may tell me something, or I may catch a rumor straight to Suez. Rumor that carries new men to wise nothing else. Now if I hear my father's alive and heading home, hard-pressed as I am, I'll brave up for one more year. If I hear he's dead, no longer among the living, then back I'll come to a native land I love. Raves his grave mound, building his hundreds high with the full funeral rites that he deserves, and gives my mother to another husband. A declaration, a prince sat down and mental took the four Odysseus friends in arms, who won the king sailing off to Troy, committed his household, ordering one to obey to the old man. He would keep things steadfast and secure, and with deep discern for a realm, and he rose and warned, hear me, men of Ithaca. Here's what I have to say. Never let any sceptred king and kind and gentle now, not with all his heart, or set his mind on justice. No, let him be cruel and always practice our outrage. Think, not one of people who we rude, remember Odysseus now, that godlike man, a colony as a father to his children. I don't grudge these arrogant suitors for a moment, winning their violent work. With all their wicked hearts, they weigh their lives on when they consume Odysseus' worldly goods. Blind in their violence, telling themselves that they'll come near home no more. But all the rest of you, how you ruse my fury. Sitting there in silence, never a word put a curb their suitors. Paltry feels they are there so many. Mentor, even your son recorded rounded on him, shouting rabble, rosing him, no odds his talk. Goading then on to try to hold his back, it's uphill work, I warn you. Finding a force like ours for just a meal. Even Odysseus and Ithaca did. If it's Ithaca, I don't know how to pronounce it. Did arrive in person to find his well-bred suitors, feasting in his halls, and the man were hell-bent and routing us for a palace. What a joy was his life. Derive her his return, the over yearning here on a spot he met a humiliating enemy fight against such odds. You're talking nonsense, Odyssey. No more calm. Dissolving assembly, each man returned to his holdings. Mentor and hardest theirs can speak your young prince on. His father doddering, for instance, time again. He'll sit tight and good long while, I trust, scrabbling for news right here in Dhaka. He'll never make that trip. This broke up the assembly keen to leave. His people scattered quickly, each at his own house, while the suitors strolled back and King Odysseus' palace. Telemachus walking the beach now, far from others, washes hands in the foaming surf on the pride and ballast. Dear God, help me. Yesterday you came to my house. You told me to ship out the misty sea and were, and if father, gone so long as ever coming home. Look how my countrymen and visitors most of all, pernicious bullies foil each move I make. Athena came to his prayers from close to hand, the all of a world with mentors build in voice. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here and I'll save for more tomorrow because it's gonna be a long one. So I'm so sorry. And I'll see you guys later and peace.